I have done the boops. Good morning! Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever the peckin' time it is. Welcome to another Toonkind FPS! Whoop whoop!
Yay.
This is Herding Cats. I am Vwild and I am joined by the wonderful being behind the curtain, the absolutely fantastic, amazing, incredible, my bestie, who's doing an excellent DM job and creating a wonderful entire arc. We love to see it. Jazz hands.
Hello, everybody. I am the aforementioned DM behind the curtain. My name is Whis. I am going to be playing in this FPS. Well, I guess it really depends on what Vwild has in their schemes, because herding cats. Who do we know who has something to do with cats just at the minute?
Ow.
Faber
That's
and
right.
Iona Dominim are currently, and have been for a few months, since a show of power, which was... When did we play that? July?
Oh, yeah.
Something.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
And unfortunately, since the events of that game, they have been under the effects of some kind of spell likened to feeble mind that makes them think that they're cats. And they've been unable to do anything about it. However, the detective, the capital T, capital D detective, has a plan.
Indeed. It's set after the other incidents that have happened, including one of our wonderful informants going out with scribbles and finding out stuff from the ferryman. And Lynn did get all the information during and afterwards, seeing as Morpha basically live streamed.
Yes, Morpha does have that fun spell where you can just telepathically link to somebody's telephone, which is the most amazing spell.
Indeed. It is great. The moment I found it, I just went, it's yours.
It's added on the list of spells I wish were real, but anyway.
And so Lynn did sit back at Network and collect all the data, and it took a bit, but certain things started ticking into place. Well, about life locks and how they work and run, and, well, death being an option of cutting it off was definitely one she's putting on the cards, but the fact that there's Nick who's on an island, who's cut off from Helios.
Nick, who she
With
kicked the shit out of and certainly wasn't getting any protection from anyone.
Indeed. It was a very enjoyable kicking the shit out of. And she's making sure to remember the notes from that to use at a later date. But there is the mental image of just Lynn sitting in front of a giant board she's got on all of this stuff. And that sort of thing clicking into place, that island is cutting off magic from Helios. Helios, who is sustaining certain spells on people she likes. And she absolutely had a holy shit moment back at Network. So, as soon as she'd secured certain stuff, she did basically called up Mira and went, "Are you able to take overtime? Good. Go to this place in Column Seal and stay there and await my orders. I've got to deal with stuff first." And it's probably because we've established in a previous game that Lynn could use her Halloween Town key into this island.
Yes. The key doesn't seem to be affected by the barrier at all. That's how they got home when they ended up in Lavender Town in the Scent of Lavender game.
Hmm. Which is incredibly useful, as if you take a boat out there too many times, someone's gonna notice.
Hmm.
If you just happen to quite legitimately just spontaneously arrive there, that takes out a lot of the different, security measures. It's great. She loves it.
And she claims to not be a mob boss.
The amount of times I sit here and go, Lynn, the line you are giving me is, did you take that from The Godfather? But she does leave the gun, take the chili. But she does go and she collects kind of a box of things that might be of use. And then she just puts this box in Hammer's face, and then she just goes, okay, I'm going out for the day. No, I'm not telling anyone where I'm going, but if anyone asks, it's genuinely okay. I'm going to be back in 24 hours.
Bye, Mom.
And then does it. I
Be
love
safe.
you. I will. All
Call
right.
us if you need us, alright? Pum pum.
Will do. Hattie, if you do me a favor,
Yeah, what?
you know the boatswain, yes?
Yeah, we're
All
acquainted
right.
now.
All right. Tell him to check the mirror's reflection. He'll know what it means.
Alright. I think I can make a guess as to what it means too. Alright, I'll track him down and let him know.
Fantastic. All right. Got the design.
Take it easy,
Why?
Pom Pom. Seriously, take it
I,
easy.
I will. Good things today. Fingers crossed. Really picking good things. All right, bye. And she just goes.
Bye. Good luck, Mom!
And she does new Morph. She does make sure to stop in with Kara. Like, she goes to the manor and she does check in on certain things that she needs done if this manages to start being pulled off in the direction she wants.
Mm-hmm.
And then it is just use the key, head to Lavender Town.
Alright, great. So you quick, get the door open, and you're going to come out of the same door that you went in from several months ago, which I believe was just someone's random house.
Yeah, it
And,
was.
I'm just for shits and giggles, I'm going to roll a d2. 1 yes, 2
Also,
no.
I rolled on the dream die, and Lynn got a 2 both times, so it's a good day.
Nice. Alright, well I had 1 yes, 2 no, so that was a 2 no. So you have not startled the ever-loving crap out of some random dark type or ghost type who you've just, opened their door and stepped out of. Like, excuse you? Who is this monkey in my house? But no, that did not happen.
On the outside, at least.
Yeah, but
She was.
even so. But no, that has not happened. What time of day is this, Vwild?
Good question. I'd say. I want to say morning.
Mm-hmm.
What time did the party arrive at Lavender Town before? Because she will have tried to line it up so she's not just gonna go, "Hi, Yon. I know you're sleeping at this time." But
Let me think. In Show of Power, the party arrived in Salunia at, I think it was around 10. And it was early afternoon when they made their way to Lavender Town. Yeah, so it was early afternoon when last time she was here.
she will have tried to match it up to that then, just on the basis of she knows people were awake at that time. And
Alright.
I should probably roll perception to see who and what she can see when she comes out, because a spontaneous random monkey just appearing is... You don't just go randomly wandering, that just gets questions asked.
Yes. Yes, indeed. All right. Go
I'm
ahead
gonna
and roll
go
it.
da, 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 da. That is a 18 plus something or other. I'm very good with my numbers. 18 plus 12.
12!
I forgot. You now have proficient. I forgot you now have expertise in this.
Well, 18 plus 12.
30. What does she see with her wonderful, wonderful monkey eyes?
All right. Well, okay. The first thing that is vastly fucking 30 apparent. The first thing that is very apparent when Lynn steps through that door is Lavender Town looks like it did when they first arrived. She cannot see the plants, the water, the plush tropical paradise that she knows Lavender Town and frankly all of Cantos is. She can only see the run down, the desolate, barren version that is being put in place by what seems like a permanent hallucinatory terrain, I think is the actual spell. So that is the first thing that she wouldn't have needed to roll a god's damned 30 for. But there are people around. It seems lively enough, and admittedly she was a smidge distracted the last time she was here, but with a 30, observing the people that she can see moving around, they all are dark types and ghost types. There's not a single other kind of type here, which is very similar to last time. But the way that they're moving around the environment, you get the feeling that they can actually see that green version of this island. They cannot see the illusionary terrain that you can see. Just based on the way that they're moving, on the way that they're interacting with things. And they were all going about their normal day. It seems as though there's nothing special going on. It's there are some people who are like, you can see that there are young little Pokemani who are easily half-rise height in that dilapidated school building. There are people in what look like they could be ramshackle shops. There are people you can kind of see, not in the direction of the artwork that I did, but in the other direction towards the dock where the ferry lands. You can see there are a few people down by the beach, and you can see that they're fishing, and you can actually see in the distance, getting smaller and smaller, what looks like a very small boat.
Well, that's good to know. She's filing that away. Ferryman? Very good. If you'd gone, maybe, we would have been vaguely concerned.
No, with a 30 you can absolutely tell. The ferryman has been within the last 20 minutes and is leaving.
The ferryman goes, all of a sudden spontaneous monkey has spawned. We don't know how she got here. She's making a note of that, including that they can all see through it, because logically you would assume that they would have figured out a way on that front. But that is also just incredibly useful to know, especially because Helios probably uses something similar for his minions, seeing as they could see things that the party couldn't with, the entire siege of Column Seal. So she tucks that away and then just can't see the target of her interest at the moment, so she is just going to make her way through, and she'll admit she is kind of itching to put on a disguise, just see a form and assume a form, but she's not going to because transparency is kind of key when you're asking for things.
Yeah, yeah. So who is the target that you're looking for in particular on this particular sojourn?
She's looking for Yon.
Okay. Well, she can probably make an educated guess based on what she saw the last time she was here. That if he's not visible in the town, he's probably in the hall somewhere.
Which was her next plan on that front. So she does just start making her way there. And I would roll deception to see how calm she is, but Whis, do you want to know the lowest roll she can get if she doesn't get a nat 1?
Mm.
Do you want to know?
I would love to know.
24.
Wow! Hot diggity damn! Did you give her expertise in that too?
It's useful.
Holy shit balls. Alright, well, what I will get Lynn to roll is a dexterity saving throw.
Marvelous. That is a 16 plus 5, 21.
Alright. Tough shit, kiddo. Alright, so you're making your way through the town, heading back up towards the 26 plus 5.
Yeah, thanks.
You're making your way through the town up towards the hall, and the stairs look an awful lot like a ramp, but you were able to negotiate them up last time without too much trouble. And then it's kind of like a spidey sense kind of reaction. You can feel something coming at you at speed, and you're able to step aside, and then there's this sort of noise as a sort of tan-coloured blur goes through the space where your head used to be. And then there's a dang!
Lynn hears small child. She plays into it for a moment. It's as she steps to the side, she hears that, and she does the spooked cat reaction. Like, she's not spooked, but she will do it. You know, like when a tiger does it for their kid.
With the slight delay. It's like, oh wait, no, I was terrified. Never mind.
She does the jump. She does a fluff. She puts her good hand to her chest and goes, "Oh my! What was that? Holy!"
And floating there is a very familiar little ghost type Pokemon-y. It's Mimi. And she looks up and then starts to giggle. I got you good.
Oh, it's you, Mimi. Oh, you got me so good. Oh, that was impressive sneaking. Oh, that speed. Oh, holy bleep, that was good. That you're gonna have to teach me how to do that at some stage.
I can't. I've been practicing.
Oh, it's very clear to see that was good.
I got Skittles last time. It was fun.
Yeah. Ah, we'd love to see that. And she does like what height is Mimi floating at? Because she will adjust so that she's at eye level with the kid.
Yeah, she's probably is floating at around Lynn's head height. It makes talking to people easier when you're only... How tall did I make her? She's like 2 foot tall or something. Yeah. Very petite little thing. Yeah, so she has the capacity to hover. So she do.
Yeah. And we love to see it. And then does it's the fond shake of the head. Just you are incredible. In fact, hang on. Where did I put it? And she does go in her pocket. That is a 9. She pulls out a sticker. Like,
Oh,
go.
you know what? I don't know that they have stickers in Lavender Town just by default, because how the hell would you make them? Her eye is gonna go kind of round, and she has a bit of a scribbly sort of eye. She doesn't have the kind of eyeball sort of shape that basically every other Pokemon Lena's ever met has. But it goes round. It's like, ooh, ooh, what's this? What's this? What's this?
It's called a sticker, kiddo. Well, we give them when someone's done incredibly good at something or has done something very cool. And I think, yes, I think this one belongs to you.
Thank you. What's it do? What's it do?
It's mainly to look pretty. It's mainly to go, this is mine and I get to keep it. And it sticks onto you, or you can put it on something. Although you tend to put them on yourself or like in a book or something, because if you just put them everywhere, people get a bit. Well, they do make the place very pretty, but you probably get told off. Like,
I have a book. I can put it in my
oh,
school book.
yeah, you know what? You go and put this on your school book, eh? All right. This one is for you, and she hands it over with all the aplomb that it deserves for a child's first sticker.
She's gonna hold it in two little hands, in her little twiggy fingers, and just she can't sparkle, but you reckon if she had an ounce of Ghibli in her, she would be sparkling.
Nice. All right. Mimi, by the way, before you go heading off on your brilliant adventure, do you know where Yon is today?
Yeah. He will be. Oh wait, we got a new brother or sister just before, so he will be going to find someone to look after them, and then we'll be back at the hole. Yeah. He'll bring back another egg for the egg room. Yes.
Oh, that is marvelous. Yes, I recall that. We'd love to see it. Honestly, new life. But would you mind escorting me to where it would be a good place to stay? Because I will get terribly lost, Mimi. It's honestly, I will lose direction. I will end up on the ceiling.
Oh, well, I mean, I could go on the ceiling, but Deb, no, you come wait near Jan's desk. And I can go tell him that you're here. Yeah.
That is a brilliant idea. You are a genius, Mimi. God, her reflexive urge to just like ruffle this kid's head is so high.
I mean, you could.
Screw it, she does. Are you kidding me? This is a child. This is a baby. She's naturally inclined towards being soft with kids.
Oh dear. It's not going to upset Mimi any. In fact, it's going to make her giggle. Come on, this way. And she's
Alright, I'm coming. You're leading the way.
And she's going to lead Lynn into the hall. And just like the last time when Yon led you in here, it's a dump. You know it's not, but it looks like a dump. But she leads you over to the old dilapidated desk on one side, which is flanked by some really ramshackle bookcases. And she pats the desktop. This is Yon's desk. If you wait here, I'll go tell him, and then he'll be here as soon as he's found a new family for the egg. Yeah.
Thank you very much. And tell him to take his time. I won't go wandering.
Okay, I'll go tell him.
See you later.
Bye. And she's gonna zoom off.
Lynn takes a single moment to get out the, oh my god, this child is adorable.
Her voice is really fun to do too.
It sounds it. You reflexively keep making me smile.
All right, I am gonna roll a d10 to see how long it takes for Yon to get there. 7. Okay, it takes 7 minutes exactly for a very large Pokemon to appear at the door. Well, I know Mimi said that we had one of our visitors back again. I was more expecting someone else. Welcome back.
Hello, Jon. It's good to see you again. And Lynn does, like, stand from if she'd been leaning against a wall carefully, and she does. It's not quite a bow, but it is a sign of respect.
Mm-hmm. Jon's going to walk over, and I'm just going to give you this for the 30 that you got before. Every other ghost type that you've met makes a point of hovering around in the air, but Jon, he walks on the ground. But he walks over, and he gives a very respectful nod of the head. Now, it has been some months, but I believe your name was Lynn, is that correct?
Indeed. Detective Little Lynn Stagehand, at your service.
Well, if you're here, I suspect that I am going to be at your service once again. How can I help you, detective?
You can roll insight if you like.
Alrighty. He doesn't have a sheet. Let's just make some shit up. How about that? 10 is not great. But he doesn't know Lynn, really. He's met her once before, so that kind of tracks, I guess.
Especially with how high her passive deception is.
Mm-hmm.
He can tell that this being before him, this Toon, is naturally someone who wears a great deal of masks.
Mm-hmm.
And he can tell with a 10, he might not be able to see it, but he can tell that she is naturally trying to be open.
Mm-hmm.
She is keeping her arms wide on that front. It's as non-threatening without actively going, I am not a threat, I'm not doing something stupid.
Okay, fair enough.
Just how to put this? I understand that we have not built a full rapport, so you are perfectly within your rights to reject or decline anything that I ask, but I have a favor to ask in hope of helping certain people, which may in turn help your people down the line.
Tilts his head to one side a little bit. Go on. How can I help?
Okay. Last time we were here, I admit, a great deal has happened then. The plots do like grabbing me and mine by the horns, but did I happen to mention the names Faber and Iona?
I don't believe so, no.
Right. Makes sense. I'm a paranoid pick. But several months ago, before we met you specifically, there was a incident involving Helios.
Yon goes stiff at that.
Yeah. We were trying to gather resources on certain matters related to the Pokemani, related to you all. A ally of mine, a friend, in a sense. We were hoping to go to him to get further information as he had links to certain, not artifact, but tablet with significance due to magic related to the Pokemani. Unfortunately, he was intercepted first. There was a calculated attack against him and his, and he nor his sister, they didn't get out of it unscathed.
Are they?
They're alive.
Okay. I was going to say, because we are not clerics. That kind of assistance, I'm afraid I would not be able to give.
No, it's... Quite frankly, if that was the department, my family would be able to help with that. I have a grave cleric who is close family to me. No,
And
you
a
are...
life cleric.
And a life cleric, yes, that too. You are experienced enough to know these things about life locks.
Oh, he stands up straighter at that.
Yes. Presumed. Cards on the table, and I don't usually share information this much, but Faber and Iona were hit with a powerful and tailored magic to... I believe the best term is a feeble mind of sorts. And they have been in that state for several months. Because it is fueled by a life lock.
Ah.
We've tried everything within our departments. I spared no expense on that front, trying to help with this. Perhaps it would go away naturally, perhaps we could break it with certain normal ways to break a feeble mind, but... no dice.
No, with a life lock actively contesting any such attempts at reparations, I suspect, yes, you would have had no joy there.
Indeed.
Oh.
It was only recent.
I can't really help you with that.
That's actually the thing. That's actually the kicker of something. See, you have someone on this island. How is Nick, by any chance?
I'd like you to roll an insight, please.
Concerning. That is a 16 plus 6.
Nice. Alright. Let's roll you a token deception, why not? What's your deception likely to be, Yon? Probably about that.
No dice.
Close. Alright. You can see him try and hide it, but there's something about the way that he shifts. He knows something about Nick, and he wasn't expecting to have anyone ask him about it. But he kind of just draws in a breath and is quiet for probably a little bit longer than you would expect in the wake of such a question.
Lynn knows the trick of letting someone fill silence. So she just does stare.
Why do you ask?
Interesting anklet that he has, isn't it?
Well, he is a servant of the King of the Rings. They all had them. Not much of a surprise. Not to me,
Indeed.
anyway.
What is surprising is that he's still here. I mean, admittedly, I gesture at you. There are people that can keep him here, and yet, for someone who is a servant of that one, who can draw on that power, yet he remains here.
I'm not sure I follow what you're implying, Detective.
There are two ways of thinking about it. Well, three, but him changing his ways and deciding that this is the life for him. So
Unlikely.
we indeed. So we either go with he's intentionally staying here, or he can't leave. And if he can't leave with as high a level power as should be given to him with that anklet, which, from what I understand, is Helios magic at its finest.
15, alright. I'm gonna have, Yon is gonna start pacing a little bit. Like, he was sort of standing in the doorway a bit, but he's gonna walk further into the hall closer to Lynn, near his desk, and then just sort of pace about the room somewhat. And he's got one hand to his chin as he's clearly thinking.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many ways to interpret that. I hadn't considered that. Especially given that now. What is that man up to?
Regardless of anything else, you'll want to keep a closer eye, especially as plot lines are condensing in. I've got a few strings going, made a few contingencies, got a few things going on that department, but we're gonna need to make sure he stays out the picture. But the point of the matter is, he's not drawing anything here, including must admit, last time I came here, did want some information. Didn't kill him, but did get the fun time of getting to smack the shit out of him. And no power draw. Which you'd think if you were in a situation where you were outnumbered, you'd, call on a bit of extra power. And yet,
He couldn't.
exactly. He was cut off from Helios.
But how? That's nothing that I've done. I was able to keep him imprisoned by building a very large wall. Even with the way that a dark type can move across surfaces in 2 dimensions, they still need to be able to climb it. And fortunately for us, Nick's capacity for climbing was rather appalling. Like the poor boy had never had the opportunity to climb a tree or anything of that nature.
Yeah. However, it does work to our benefit in that it helped prove that something I'm deducing from all of this is what's keeping you in here. All of that it ensues, all of... I can't recall whether it was conveyed that it was a lifelock itself or other such, but this barrier by art keeps you in and keeps that influence out.
There's a long pause as Jon looks at Lynn and processes this, and then he straightens. There's not a doubt in my mind that the barrier is fueled by a life lock. And if it is, then it's Ark's power itself interfering with Helios.
Mm-hmm.
Even after so long, they're still going at each other's throats, it seems. Oh dear.
Indeed. It seems that those two are locked into this. It's just got to watch the fallout in the end. But as a side tangent, no matter what, I do promise you, this lifelock will not hold forever. And it will fall within your lifetime. We will ensure it. Your children will get out of here.
That is not hope that I've entertained for some while. I've always known that there was going to be some end to it unless Ark had been experimenting with magics that would allow a lifelock to extend past his life, because the man will die eventually, so how on earth could he keep this legacy going beyond his death?
Well, one way that does spring to mind is a legacy, but I have a feeling that both of his kids aren't exactly on board with that.
He just sort of tilts his head to one side and is giving Lynn a bit of a, wait, Ark has children? What? kind of look.
Yes, it's a whole thing. I'm not going to go into it, but yes, that was quite a revelation, as well as finding out. I've been given some exposition. I know a bit of the backstory. But yes, both of his kids are no longer in his care for various reasons. One of them is my kid.
Jon kind of does that pinching the bridge of his nose movement. You mentioned you had a dark-type Pokemon-y son.
Mm-hmm.
You've adopted Ark's son.
Mm-hmm. He was a piece of shit. Volleyball head is mine now. My son.
I don't doubt that you do better by that child than the governor ever could.
Mm-hmm. He's great. He's having a wonderful time at home today. Pretty sure he's going to get tornadoed by his sibling. It'll be fine.
There's kind of an arched eyebrow expression, but then he straightens and he shifts his shoulders. To keep back on track, am I correct in my understanding, in my assumption, Detective, that you are proposing that you bring your afflicted allies, who are bestricken by a lifelock of the King of Rings, to Lavender Town, so that the barrier will interfere with it?
And you do see Lynn shift from where she'd started getting that rugged, motherly smile and stuff started to pull into an antic, you do see that dissolve as though it was never there as she goes back to serious and she just goes, "It is a hypothesis. I cannot guarantee it working. I will admit I don't even know what doing so could potentially cause, because it will likely be felt by Helios, seeing as it's such powerful magic. The risks are great, but yes, it could very well pull them out of this."
I can give you no guarantee it will work. But you have my approval, if you can get them here.
Roll me insight at advantage.
Alrighty. I give him his insight again. That I think. That's a natural 20. I won't roll that again.
Yon, you see, as I said before, this one wears so many masks. You don't actually know where one mask starts and the other one ends, but you see the way she suddenly perks up, the look in her eyes that holds such hope and astonishment. You get the feeling that she thought this kind of debate was going to go on a lot longer. And yeah, the only thing that you can describe that as is relatively concealed, but such bright hope and gratitude.
I think Yon is going to straighten a little bit. And Lynn can roll an insight on him if she likes.
Yeah. That is a 15 plus 6.
Alright. It seems as though that intense hope is a little bit infectious, because looking at this old ghost type, Lynn can see a bit of hope in him as well. Because if this works, if this is true, that means for as long as that barrier is up, his people are safe from the King of Rings, and that's actually a really comforting thought.
I admit that was one of the things that is in her contingencies. I wrote so many notes.
But yeah, there is a rising hope in him as well. And he nods and, well, when would you like to proceed?
Honestly, as soon as possible. I've got some of my informants already running a few things, making sure some things are in place. The question I have basically is another part to this is likely both of them. I'm not sure whether coming here and then leaving. They'll probably get whammied the moment they leave, so we'd need to figure something out on that front. But as soon as possible, is there any time that's convenient to you? Because I don't exactly want to disrupt your way of life.
Well, dusk is probably the best time. Most
Right.
people have retired to their homes for their meal, and there aren't that many people on the streets, and while there are some who interacted with you when you were here last, I may have to talk to Mimi about developing a sense of restraint, but I don't know how successful I'll be on that point. People here are not used to outsiders. There are not many of us here who remember what the outside world is like, so people who are not ghost or dark type Pokemon are Well, we're unaccustomed to it. So perhaps
Indeed,
when people are out of the streets would be a good plan. I can meet you at the
indeed.
docks, and there probably is the best place, given as...
Actually, on that front, we won't be coming in by the water.
No?
I'm a toon of many talents, but no. The location that we're bringing the duo from is landlocked. It's getting them through certain things is a complicated matter in and of itself. But well, I didn't. I didn't come in by the water today, although the ferryman did come by, didn't he?
He did. Yes, he was here earlier. I didn't think I saw you aboard his boat. And I did meet him at the docks today.
But yes, no. I have friends in high places and a good amount of magical items. It's the way I come and go is a bit more discreet than that. And hey, if a boat that's not the ferryman's comes by, it might raise some questions. But the
This
point of
is
the
a
matter is,
fair point.
indeed, I tend to run these contingencies. This old mind, I should just full on knock the side of her head.
Detective, I would be very surprised if you were able to call yourself old in any capacity.
Oh, you'd be surprised. Um, but anyway, point of the matter is, I have a way of getting here, and we are going to need to account. Could I get them in hoods? Probably not, seeing as their state of being, but both of them are white-haired and white-robed, unfortunately.
Would you be comfortable going into detail about how you get about places?
Of course. I will even show you as I leave, but and she does reach into her jumper with her good hand, and she pulls out a key.
Mm-hmm.
This key was created by a member of my family, or found family. He is the leader of Halloween Town, a great deal of politics therein, very high caste, but this directly links to his town. I put this key in a lock, I turn it, I appear in town. And then, should I want to come back to this door, I just put the key in their lock and open it to a door that I know, which, seeing as I ensured last time I left through a means where I could establish contact with this place, I can come here and go.
I see. And you can change which door your key links to, I suppose?
Indeed.
In that case, I have just the place.
Oh.
Mine. Come on.
Ah.
And he turns and he starts walking out the door.
Mm-hmm. And she will follow. And she does just go, and because I know I'd want to know this as well. I didn't intentionally keep this from you, and I pondered whether we could sneak kids out or some of you out, but with Helios's eyes everywhere, it's the only reason I dismissed it. Otherwise, I would have been helping your people come out into circulation, as it were.
At this juncture, with Arg Alamos and Helios Dahara still posing a threat,
Mm-hmm.
even if we were to leave, the ferryman would have no choice but to continue to bring people here.
Mm-hmm.
So someone would need to stay behind as it was. So Unfortunately, the status quo sounds like the safest option for all parties.
Indeed. Especially as if news gets out to Ark, who is likely still watching certain things. And she does even bare her teeth at that, which you can straight up tell is not something she does often with just how sharp her canines are when she does so.
Fair enough.
But I considered it in the best interest on that front. Of if certain of you were seen out while the majority of you were here, that would just make you sitting ducks. I still wanted to bring it to your attention so it wasn't I wasn't intentionally keeping you here for use.
He holds up a hand in a don't worry about it kind of way. As I said before the last time you visited, we are safe here for the most part. Trapped, but safe. But, and he does actually click his fingers in a and then he's going to tap at his collar like he did last time, and the hallucinatory terrain melts away around you. Just in time for him to have you standing in front of a actually fairly decently sized house. It's probably about half as big again as Network, so quite big. This is my house, and you are welcome to use my door. If you're able to get them into the house, using that key of yours, they will be hidden. And if your intention was to leave them here, so as there was no risk of that magic coming back when the barrier is no longer in between, they may stay with me.
Thank you. This is, yes, I can get them inside. I make a habit of when I don't know people going outside, but yes, that could work. That could. Thank you.
When would you like to do this, detective? If it is that quick of a process, I imagine that it could happen today.
Yes, it's about getting them here. They're, as the link to the spell I said indicates, they're not exactly, able to make the best of decisions at the moment, unfortunately.
No,
especially
I understand.
Especially with the way it's manifested. It's Helios really knows how to make sure someone doesn't have dignity. But sorry, almost started baring my fangs again. Got to get out of that. We can sort this out by this dusk, fingers crossed.
Well, how about we pencil it in then? If anything changes, please let me know, but I will otherwise expect guests this evening.
Indeed. Thank you. Thank you. All right. On that front, yes. I did also. I admit it was partially bargaining and also just genuinely wanting to do good, but and she does just go into hammer space. That was almost a fumble, thank gods no. And she does pull out a crate from hammer space, which is decently big. I understand that the ferrymen and such do what they can, but being discreet on certain fronts. So I made sure. I've got people from bad homes before or such. I know how to grab things, but I've got certain resources that aren't always able to be fashioned, darning kits and such, children's books, as well as other literature and things that you all might not have experienced before, including stickers. Little things to give the kids hope, and some things for the adults as well. I apologize if this is a forward or in any way disrespectful.
Quite the contrary. It's quite appreciated. They are not able to bring things across as much as I know that they won't. It has been some time since I've spoken to Mia Janice of the Motherhood, but every time she sends something over, some little bit of provisions, there's always a little card inside.
He's incredibly kind. Once Ark is out of the way, we'll see about things. But I have good hopes for your people.
Thank you. I
don't.
am finding it hard to be particularly hopeful because it's been so long, but if you're confident, I will try to stay positive about the whole thing. It seems like a far-off dream.
It's part of what my agency does, part of what I've dedicated my life to. Giving people hope in troubling times. There will be requiem.
Thank you, Detective. I suspect I will be seeing you this evening.
Indeed. Without much further ado, I should probably go and wrestle that matter. But I shall see you then. And she does give another respectful, nod. And she just goes, okay, let's give this a go. And it's not active dramatics, but she is, come on, this is a magic that this guy hasn't seen before.
Uh-huh.
And she does just take off the key, and with her good hand, you know the trick where you can twist something between your fingers?
Mm-hmm.
She does do that, just all eyes on it, and then just insert it into the lock. And the eyes of the key glow. And then she opens it, and she opens it outside, and yeah. That is definitely not the inside of your house, Yon.
Looking back over your shoulder as you walk through the door, Lynn, Yon is delighted. It's the first glimpse of the outside world he's had in over 50 years.
Which is specifically why she did it. And there is a smile on her face, and she just goes, see you at dusk.
He'll nod, and I suppose that's when she closes the door.
She closes the door. She has the holy shit, that worked! Okay, next part of the plan. Pats Kara on the door, just, I'm gonna be back later with guests. I love you. And then neumes.
Well, okay. I suppose that means we're moving on to phase 2.
Phase 2! Get those cats!
Yes.
Get those cats! Have we got a large enough cat carrier?
Certainly not.
No.
Dear. So, you've sent Mira ahead of you, I believe is what you said earlier.
Indeed. Which you might recall in a previous thing that we've done in DMs, Whis, just she wasn't having me time at home.
Yes. Nah, she would have been having that me time elsewhere.
Yep. Me time with some cat people.
Yes. So luckily the blacksmith of Columcille and his wife and their small, I think newborn, 2 months old or something, child,
baby,
have been quite accommodating, as I'm sure Mira explained the situation in the most eloquent way possible.
Yeah, she did go in one of her guises, just on proxy of having her can usually be disconcerting.
Mm-hmm.
Even though she does like kids. people probably would be slightly disconcerted by the blank-eyed stare at a child and the smile.
Yeah, that'd be creepy as shit.
Yeah.
But yes, so when Lynn arrives,
Hmm.
there is keeping Mira and Faber and Iona company. There is the blacksmith's wife, the small child, and another small child.
Ashling.
Just like the last time you saw Aisling, she is in a ambulata imperfecta. She doesn't have a full ambulata anymore because it was destroyed during the siege of Column Seal, and the only person who knows how to make them is a cat.
Mm-hmm.
I invite
Indeed.
Lynn to roll a perception check as she comes into the blacksmith's house.
Yep. Absolutely. She did also call ahead with Tarp, because quite frankly, the reason why she's called him is he knows how to handle animals. It was not for the water, it was for the catnip.
Amazing. That is the funniest shit. I love it.
Okay. Jesus Christ, Lynn. Okay, so that is. Let me just tell you this from my head. I don't know whether it's going to be enough, Whis. I don't know whether a 30 bloody one
Well, yeah.
is.
What can I give you for a 31? Let me think. Fucking hell.
It appears she's paranoid as hell every time she's going to a new location today.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay. So massively overdoing it. It's hilarious. Okay, so yes, Ashling is in an ambulata imperfecta, and it's the kind that looks like those wooden artist dummies that kind of have the semicircle hands, the semispherical hands rather, and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And upon looking at Faber and Iona, their appearances have changed slightly. Not in a particularly alarming sort of way, but in a way that's notable. Normally, Faber wears robes in browns and pinks, and Iona wears a blue tank top and grey pants.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them seem to be wearing sort of a white kind of knee-high sort of dress. It is a dress. It's
Mm-hmm.
not robes, it's a dress. And both of their long white hair, which actually seems to be longer than you remember it, but it's been messily braided, like as much as they were sitting still, so someone could braid it to keep it out of the way. And Faber in particular, his beard is pretty long. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's not super long with like Gandalf long, but like he normally keeps it quite short, and it's
Mm-hmm.
relatively long now.
Mm-hmm.
But you are greeted by the little artist dummy that is Ashling with a big wave and a hug of your knee.
Hello, Ashling. Good to see you, kiddo. And she does like put a hand on the kid's head. And then with Ashling's permission, she will like outright pick her up to put her on her hip.
Oh yeah, Ashling will not resist.
Yeah, Kiddo's getting a hug. Kiddo's getting a hug from someone she knows as well. Just uh, I'm hoping everything's going well at the moment.
She kind
And
of
she's
gives her
addressing
hand a
it
little bit of a wobble wobble.
as well as can be expected, eh? That's good. Well, we'll see how things go from here, but I've got some good feelings. And she does just give the kiddo a forehead boop, then just right. Ashling, this is a let's try a thumbs up, thumbs down sort of thing. You got much longer in this form today?
Her little body doesn't have thumbs, and she does sort of look at her hands turns them over,
Okay.
turns them over, and then looks up at Lynn, and then she puts her hand up in more of a kind of a high five sort of position and nods.
Yeah, you know what? That's on me for not seeing that you didn't have thumbs. Apologies, but yeah, that'll work. I'm up for yes, I'm down for no. Okay, so you've got plenty of time. And tell me, hmm, you've been keeping this form here, haven't you?
She lets her hand go limp and then up.
All
And then
right.
she points over to the side of the room, and you can actually see there's a little collection of little dolls in a small little pile near the far wall.
All right. Good, good, good. Now, tell me, Ashling, if I were to take one or two of those forms and take them somewhere else, somewhere further than here, you would be able to jump to them if you've keyed into them before?
Nod, nod, hand up.
All right, all right. We're cooking with gas. We love to see it. All right. It's yeah, we got a plan here. And she actively puts down another one of her masks just so she can smile at this kid and Aisling see that there is a plan cooking behind Lynn's eyes. Right. Now I'm gonna say a few things. We're gonna figure some stuff out, but I got some hope. I got some good fine hope. You go be with your guardian for the moment. I'm gonna I'm gonna do a little chatting to certain people, get some things in motion, and then we're gonna go on a little walk, okay? We're just gonna go on a little trip.
There's a tilt of the head, but a nod, and
Yeah,
and then she makes a movement like she's being expecting to be put down.
of course. Off you go. And she does get another head ruffle as she's put down. It's reflex. Lynn has too many kids.
Yeah. She will linger long enough to enjoy the head ruffle, and then she'll go off to hang out with the blacksmith's wife.
Mm-hmm. Right. And then Lynn will go to her contacts, and it is probably vaguely disconcerting in how she will just go to Mira, tap her on the shoulder, and then they just both go dead silent for a bit.
He who telepathy.
Yeah. There are a few indicators of stuff, but yeah, no, it's... And she will just say an odd word out loud, but it's heavily encoded even out loud. Just, alright. Okay. We secure... And she does nod over towards the dolls, and then Mira goes over and just inspects them for a moment, and then just... Lynn will go over and put two in her hammer space. Right.
All right. Well, they don't object to that any.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic. Okay. Let's see. On that front. Okay. All right. Mira, you are known. If you could... Yes, if you could go in the other room with the duo, get yourself acquainted with them, make sure everyone knows who their allies are. Let's see, has the book... excuse me, I had a man, he's a mink, sailor type, bright orange, life jacket. Has he stopped by?
Oh, yes. No, he's in the backyard. Talking to the dog.
Yes, that would... excuse me one moment, I have to go make sure he doesn't, acquire something. Just goes to the back, and then you do just hear... You can't keep it. Oh, boss! I said no. You have too many as is, and this one belongs to other people. Yeah, it's a right good one. Look at him. Look at them. They got the ears. They got the ears. And then she just sighs and she just goes, I expect you in 2 minutes and to be in the other room. Please behave. And then just walks back in. Delightful man. Do love him. Absolutely brilliant at his jobs. Um, I have something I would like to discuss with you briefly. And she does look at the blacksmith and wife, or whoever is present.
Um, I'm going to say it's the blacksmith at the moment because the blacksmith wife is off with her child and Ashling. So let's go with it being the
Yeah,
blacksmith. Yep.
indeed. Indeed.
How can I help?
And this is where you do see Detective Stagehand in full seriousness. She just goes, some recent information has come to light that has changed factors. Nothing dangerous to this town or any such, but it has been considered best by certain sources if Faber and Iona were to go to a sanctuary for the moment. Confidential in place, well looked after, but with their condition as it is, well.
I completely understand, Detective. It's. I thought it was going to be difficult looking after a newborn. Two full-sized adults who were cats is a different kettle of fish entirely. If there's a better place for the pair of them where they can get some better care, like we've been doing our best, but
Indeed, indeed, and you've been doing remarkable, especially with everything that's happened here. I sent certain members of my network here to help with reconstruction and such. Everything has gone well, I presume?
absolutely, we couldn't have done without them. It was. Thank you again.
Think nothing of it. But yes, it's. For all intents and purposes, they are going away. It's. We will do everything we can for their state.
Good. There's not a person in town who doesn't know what's become of them. And they were only defending the town as well.
Indeed.
Plenty of people feel pretty dang guilty, that's for dang sure, but I won't be able to tell them where they're going. I suspect you're not going to tell me, just for security's sake,
No.
but if... Are you taking them now?
Yes. For all intents and purposes, you may inform them that they've been taken to another location to look after their condition.
He nods.
And we'll see what comes of it.
Well, hopefully you'll be able to bring us some good news.
Indeed.
It'd be a relief to the whole town. What do you need from me?
At this point, help preserving some dignity. It's the best way of doing this is to take them to the teleportation circle, I think. From what I've been able to deduce from other plans, there's either taking them directly to magical bullshit. Wait, hang on, is the child present? We don't want the child learning. Wait, they're over 2 weeks, they can learn swears.
Lean beloved.
The main thing is keeping them on track. I've got certain people who are specialized in animal handling and such, but making sure that
that's why he's here.
yeah,
I see. now, if preserving dignity, and for goodness sake, preserving their knees, the teleportation circle that's closest to Golem Seal is not an insignificant walk, let alone if you're going to be crawling there. But we do have a wagon. And it's a covered wagon, so it's the kind that has it's a box on wheels, basically. So, you're more than welcome to it.
That would be marvelous. Thank you. I had been wondering on that front. It's another reason why I brought Tarp. Very strong man. Comes with his profession.
Well, good.
But,
here, I can show you to the wagon straight away. And
marvelous.
If he's here for the purposes of herding cats, well then I'll leave him to that. It's been all that we could do to keep them in the nursery, but I must say it is going to be good to have the nursery back. The house has felt rather small without it, especially with the newborn.
Indeed, indeed. Let's see to that wagon, and let's see to other things. Lead the way, please. She's going to roll sleight of hand for something that will be a surprise tool for this family later.
Oh, okay.
And it's a genuinely nice thing.
Oh, I don't doubt.
Okay, it's just, as she gets up, it is that... You know how some people do a quick wander of a room, like run their hand across something and then leave?
Uh-huh.
She does do that, and then she follows after at a fast clip, just... Right, let's see, Alright, we've got... Mira has vehicle proficiency. I myself do understand how to do these things as well. But yes, by all means.
Alrighty. Just for the sake of we've been going for nearly an hour and a half, how about we just roll some dice and do a time skip?
Yeah, indeed. It's Lynn will have made sure to get herself acquainted with them both again. Just, you know, the whole cat sniff and everything.
Oh yes, they're both delighted to see Lynn. Absolutely.
And with her passive deception, they do not see the ow. Because she still hurts over this. She knows she's going to fix it soon, but ow.
Yeah, for sure.
But, yeah.
All right.
I shall roll. I believe I should probably roll animal handling, shouldn't I?
Yes, you should.
I'm sorry, I cackle over the mental image they're in. It's terrible, but you cackle anyway. That is a freaking heck Tarp.
There is a reason she brought him.
Nat 20! Nat 20 plus 6!
Jesus! Alright, cool. Well, Tarp has absolutely no problems whatsoever. He thinks he could pinpoint the exact breed of cat that these two have been modelled after at this point. And he's able to get them into the wagon with absolutely no problem. At all.
If he's figured out from a relay with Mirror that jokes aren't good, but if he was going to make a joke, it would be about old cats and rescues. This isn't quite what I had in mind with this case.
Yes, no, not so much. But you now have... But you now have two 60-odd-year-old cats in the back of this covered wagon, ready to head to the teleportation circle station. And there's nothing really that stops you. The road is possibly about 4 inches wider than this wagon, so it's entirely likely that the wagon was made to fit on this road. But you're able to get them there fairly easily.
I will say, Mira and Lynn would like to roll perception to see if... Basically, Lynn's a paranoid peck. They want to see whether they're being watched.
Alrighty.
Logically, there's probably not. At the same time, she don't take risks. She don't take risks. So it is a... Jesus Christ, Lynn. Okay. 17 plus 12. Mirror, 13 plus... plus... Give me your perception modifier, you wonderful darling.
Nice.
29 and a 19.
Good grief. Yeah, no, there's definitely people looking as you move through the town. So obviously the blacksmith hadn't said anything to anyone yet, but this is still a what is he, UPAN mink, dragging a big wagon through town. It's like, what? But okay. It's not the weirdest thing we've ever seen, but it's still enough to look at. But beyond that, once you leave Column Steel and you're heading through the forest towards the teleportation circle station, you can't really see anything. You get a few little glimpses of maybe there being some wolves in the trees of the forest, and you definitely catch sight of one of the bandits that may or may not to have encountered your daughter the first time she was here, look at you and then immediately scurry in the other direction. But beyond that, no, nothing at all.
Good.
So I'm assuming that the plan is to take them to the teleportation circle in Halloween Town and then continue to take the wagon to the manor and then go through the door?
Yep, which I actually checked with RJ on the... Yep, Kara will accommodate in the making this the shortest trip possible on the other end.
Great.
Lynn did check on that front, because this isn't a time for shenanigans in town for multiple reasons, including, werewolves, dogs and cats, no.
Yeah, that'd make things even more awkward. Alright, so... I guess we're going to stop our time skip with Lynn standing at the door to Macabre Mansion with a wagon full of cats.
Yeah. And Mira and Tarp will be, Mira and the bosun will be one either side of the cart, just very much making sure that the cats in quotation marks can't go a-wandering. But Lynn does take a moment to just, as she's getting out the wagon, she does stop. And she does just look back at them and she just goes, from what I know of Feeble Mind, you will remember parts of this. I'm looking forward to you both being back. Alright? This is gonna work. I know it.
Meow.
Yeah. Alright. Here's to hoping. And she does just hop out, nod to both of them, and they are going to carefully get the cats out. The duo are going to be let out, and she just go up to the door, and she just go, "Hey, Aisling."
Perk. She can't say anything.
Do you want to turn the key on this one?
Aisling looks at the key and then looks at her little half spherical hands and then puts them together and then looks back up at Lynn and then shakes her head.
I can help you if you like, but okay. Let's see some magic, eh? And Lynn does put the key in the lock and then eyes glow, opens it indoors, and then just goes, okay. Quick as possible, you two. Let's do this.
Not going to make you roll animal handling for them again because that was a natural 20. I think Tarp's got it.
Yeah. Tarp has got this in the bag. It's... On the plus side, he at least does it with some level of dignity because he actually likes and respects cats so much. These two did get the head scritchies.
Nice. Alright, so Faber Cat and Iona Cat, this is very funny because Network calls her Iona, not Cat.
Yeah. That's something that has been haunting me this entire time. I hope you know this.
are shuffled through the door into this house, and unfortunately, because Lynn has been away, the illusionary terrain is back, so it looks like a shithole. But Yon is waiting there in the front room as you usher these two people through the door, and he just sort of leans to look through the door back at Halloween Town as the party comes through. My goodness, so it did actually happen. There you are.
I like keeping my promises. We're punctual.
Well, hopefully this is of benefit.
Indeed, we'll see. Tarp, if you could actually, right. Hallucinatory terrain is back up again.
Yes. We do have a way of making that permanent, but it will take some time, so unfortunately it's not something that I can just give you, but I can turn it off for you and your friends. But I feel as though I wish to only do it once the door is closed.
Of course, of course. And there is a gesture. Tarp's dealing with the cats. Mira will close the door and do everything. And God, she is looking at Yon, and that is a very pleasing design, but she has been told not to.
Fair enough. Okay.
No political figures. We're not having another incident.
Okay, so as Lynn and Yon were talking, and Tarp had gotten the two into the room, they were sort of crawled in and they were sniffing around a little bit. And then as Mira closes the door and it goes click, I would like, at the very least, Tarp and Lynn to roll me an Arcana.
Nice.
Mira can as well, but especially Tarp and Lynn.
Yep. I will do so. I have many D20s. I'm delighted at how many D20s I have.
That sounds good.
Yeah. So I used Lynn's die as well as two others, and there is a grinning pumpkin looking up at me.
I know what the pumpkin means on that dice set.
Tarp, your beloved, you're a himbo. You're not getting jack shit. For him, that was a 5 + 5, so that's a 10.
Okay.
For Mira got a... Let's see, what is your modifier on that? I actually used the wrong modifier for that Arcana. That was a 7 that Tarp got.
Oh, okay.
That is a 9 + 5 for Mira. And that is a nat 20 for Lynn, because when she doesn't get something, she has been spending nights up trying to understand all of this.
Mm-hmm.
So she does get her
this spread of things does make me pretty happy. So, Tarp can see the two of them kind of go stiff as this sort of happens. And Morpha can kind of see that stiffness go to them, and then something shift about them. They don't change in any physical capacity or any visual capacity, but she can feel something shift a little. Lynn, with that nat 20, can see a ring, a gold ring, around their head. Not quite around the neck, more around the head. It doesn't actually come in contact with the body somewhat, but there is a ring glowing just for a split second, and then it shatters. And both Faber and Iona then immediately collapse to the floor.
Shit! And she is bolting to them both. Come on.
They are both breathing.
I did something. That's good. And she's like full on. She crashed to her knees between them, just checking them over.
Mm-hmm.
Could she roll medicine?
Absolutely.
That is a medicine. What is your medicine? Yes, you are proficient in this. I am very pleased. 16 plus 8.
Oh yeah, easy done. 24. Yeah, no, they are unconscious. They're not hurt. They are breathing comfortably. There doesn't seem to be any particular thing wrong with them. They may just need to be nudged. Really, it's not quite unconscious. Like they're not hurt. So with a 24, Lynn, you don't think things like a cure wounds or anything would help in this particular case, but
Good. Good. They're fine. They're fine. We just stars, saws, and plots. Let this work. And she does just gently reach out for their shoulders, and it's surprisingly gentle with how strong she can be and how she does just give the little nudges. Just Faber, Iona, can you hear me?
okay.
Come back to us. Come back to us.
I would like everybody in the room to do me a con save.
Oh God! Okay.
And I will do one for...
Jesus! Guys, you did not have to roll so high, but I love you all. That's a 19. I've got so many characters today.
Yeah, there's one for...
I will say, Mira is going to cushion Aisling because that is a baby. That is a baby. That is a baby with a strange design. She wants it.
And then I need to roll one for him. What's
25
your con save,
Lynn.
sir? Okay, +1. Oops.
Okay, 25 for Lynn.
Of course.
That is the con is a +1, so that is a 14 for Mira.
Where are my other notes? I need...
And what's yours, Tarp? What's yours? +2? Yes, because that's not your dump stat. There we go.
Okay.
25 for Lynn, 15 for Morpha, 16 for Tarp. Oh, hey, they both rolled 14s.
Okay, so Lynn, Morpha, and Tarp are fine. As Lynn reaches down and shakes Iona, she lets out a shriek and she smacks her hand into the floor next to her, and the room is immediately filled with really, really bitey flying insects that seem to be like maybe somewhere between a locust and a termite, and
oh my God,
kind of, let me see, I do have to actually roll the damage for this, which I didn't write down. Whoopsie doodle.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Baby, that's a baby.
Yeah, unfortunately. Hide and prepare. How much damage does this do? 4d10 piercing damage on a failed save of half as much. Okay.
You're gonna eat the baby.
4d10. Of course. Okay, so Aisling's ambulata is completely obliterated. Lynn, Tarp, and Morpha take 10 points of owl bitey damage. Faber, how much health have you got? Okay. You're not obliterated by that, but oh damn, does that look like it hurts. Faber also is shredded. by these flying insects, and he lets out a yell, which is entirely reactionary, and you're not quite sure whether or not it's reactionary to the bugs or to the fact that you also shook him. And Lynn, unfortunately, being the closest, you take 7 magic missiles at close range, and he rolled 3 ones in that. That's not a bad thing. So you take 23 points of owl magic missile damage as well, as they both panic as they wake up.
Yeah. Perfectly reasonable in all honesty. And it's taken her like that. What is that? 23 plus 10. Yeah, no, she's fine. Genuinely, she is fine. Her immediate priority is calming them the fuck down. And so she does just... She takes the hits in stride, grits her teeth, and then just goes, Iona, Faber, it's me, it's Lynn. It's Lynn, you're okay. You're alright. You're alright. You're alright.
Doodly-doo-doo-doo. Let's do some whiz saves.
You're alright. You're with me. There's no enemy here.
Okay.
There is no enemy here.
It's above a 10. All right. Okay, so Faber got an 11, and Iona got an 18, I beg your pardon. It takes Iona a little bit less time, because she's just sort of... and then blinks, and looks at Lynn, and then looks up at Tarp and Morpha, and over at Yon, who I didn't roll a thing for, and I'm just going to say that he got fucked up by bugs. He's a bit sore too. And then sort of go really tense and then sigh and make a movement with her hands, and the bugs kind of disperse into the air and disappear into the ether. And as they do, that's when Faber starts to calm down. Like, he didn't have his spell book out. He'd kind of flung a hand at Lynn in order to cast Magic Missile, and he's still got his hand in that I have just swung at you kind of ending position. And he kind of droops his arm a little bit as the bugs disappear, which had been kind of filling his senses with that very loud noise when you're in a field of bugs. And they both sort of look at Lynn and then... What? Miss Stagehand,
You can call me whatever the bloody heck you want.
What happened? Where are we?
It's okay. It's okay. Take the moment. It's a long story, but you're safe. Everyone's safe. You did good. Okay. No one else got hurt, and you're fine. All right. You're with a friend.
What?
The town's fine. The town's fine. Everything's fine. The only people who got whammied were you, and everything's okay. All right. Your kid's fine. Ashling's fine. The town's fine. You did good. You did good.
Oh, thank the gods. Man, my back hurts. Oh.
Yes, that would. Let me help with that. Hang on. And yeah, people can roll insight if they like, but she is just going to reach out and cast Cure Wounds on both of them. Just help out on that front.
All right, no worries. Let's have an insight from Iona. That is a 16, and one from the House Wizard.
I am not going to roll for the sketches because Lynn purposefully has her back to them.
Yep, that's fine. Okay, so that's a 16 from Iona and a 12 from Faber.
Iona, you can clearly see that she has... It is so faint seeing as she has fur, but Lynn is crying. In really happy tears as she blinks them away quickly, and it's as though it never happened. But and she is just reaching over, and there is just both of them get the sheer joy on her face. This is everything she could have hoped for and more. And it's just, she does cast, and that is cure wounds. I am remembering because I am very smart. D8 plus charisma, so that is a +5 for both. That is marvelous. That is a full for both of them.
Wonderful. Yeah, you can see the tension in their shoulders kind of relax a little bit. And Faber actually puts his hands on his lower back and kind of stretches a little bit more as the magic takes hold, and then he actually kind of rubs his arm a little bit because all the little bug bites kind of close up a bit. But he sighs and, what? I suspect we've got a lot to be filled in on. And he kind of looks down and feels at his quite long beard and messily braided hair a little bit, and then grabs at the white cloth like, why am I in a dress? And he kind of grabs the collar and pulls it out and looks down at himself and...
Yeah.
Detective,
It's been a while. I made sure to secure you some of your proper clothes before we left. Mira. And Mira does just come over. And yes, Lynn did make sure that Mira, before she went over to these guys, did pop round their place. She might have broken into Aisling a little
bit. We may have to talk about how that went down later. Okay. Can I also get I'm gonna say like a perception from Morpha, please?
All right. That is you. Perception +6. That is 17 +6.
Great.
The dice like today. I love it.
All right. Now, we have established that Morpha's upbringing was uncanny, I suppose, is a good way of putting it. However, I'm not certain how familiar she is with the sensation of something moving inside her hammer space. But that is distinctly something that she is feeling right now.
Oh, the child. Wait, bring her out of hammer space then, you picnic! I thought you had pulled them out already. My mistake on that. He did them up. I love you. Please? And Lynn just gestures. She's still kneeled on the floor, but she is fully turned round just to give the double hand gesture of release the child. Just, I will roll hammer space. Please, dear fuck. Oh my fucking god.
Did you fumble it?
You can't see it, but I just nodded.
Spectacular.
Okay. It's clear on her face exactly the expression she's pulling, and then there's just Tarp in the background just going, oh boy. Okay. Alright, I'll roll the D20. I have 3 items that are different to the rest of the stuff. If you could pull up the don't bother, pull out a spider. And I mean it's a dead spider,
Uh-huh.
but it is clearly a spider from the valley as she just pulls it out, this ceramic spider, and goes, "You are not the baby. Go back in." And that's a 9 at that time. Thank you. Pulls out the actual child along with the bundle of clothing because she had put them together as a do not separate.
Okay, fantastic. So, can Morpha now also please do me a dexterity saving throw?
Mm-hmm. That is a dex save. 7 plus 5.
Alright, fantastic. 12. That'll do. You are able to place the child down before she launches herself out of your arms. So there's that. But this little small ambulata, which is another one of those little wooden ones, wriggles out of Morpha's hands and bolts across the room. And I am now going to do a dexterity saving throw for Faber. No, I'm going to make it a strength save because that's funnier.
Please do.
Okay, that's a 10. He manages to brace himself enough to not completely bash his head on the floor. However, he's going down, son, as he is full body, tackled by Aisling, who is clinging to him and nuzzling his face, and he's just a bit stunned. It's like, what the...
Aisling.
And he sort of stops and... Aisling? What happened to... Oh, my darling. And he wraps his arms around her and squeezes her. He doesn't even bother to sit back up, but he just squeezes her tightly. Oh. They broke it. Oh, my darling, I'm so sorry. And she can't respond, but she seems to be squeezing him as hard as her tiny little arms will allow. And Iona kind of looks over at them, and she looks heartbroken as well, and then looks over at Lynn and goes, I think we might need a minute or two before we get the lowdown on what we've missed.
Of course, it's...
I mean,
I know. There'll be time afterwards for talking about everything. We'll need to have a sit rep on everything that happened before all of this, and I'll catch you up in everything in full, I promise. But take your minute, right?
I feel filthy. I feel like I need a bath more than anything else.
Lynn does cast Prestidige, but just goes, we will do everything within our power to make sure you have a bath. We'll fill you in a minute. Just...
Luckily I have running water in this house. Yon kind of calls from the other side of the room.
Marvelous. Right, but... welcome back.
Iona looks over at Faber and Aisling, and Faber is crying a little. But then she looks back at Lynn and smiles tiredly. Didn't even really realize we were gone, but good to be back.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to hearing what happened.
Indeed. And I promise you will get it in full, but we'll leave you for a moment. And Lynn does just gesture her sketches to back the pick up and go in the other room. And Lynn does also look at Yon because, quite frankly, this is everything they could have hoped for and more. Because it proves a lot of things. And so she's just looking at him, and as she does, there is hope. That hope from before is back full force.
Yon nods at her as she comes over, and she can kind of see him patting his arms and casting cure wounds on himself because, ow, bitey bugs. But he gives her that smile that only mouthless toons can kind of give, and I'm happy to put them up here for as long as you need.
That's good. That's good. All things considered, it's the way his plots develop. As a detective, I've figured out a few things on that front, but won't be more than a year. Probably going to be considerably less, especially with how everything's escalating. I will make sure to keep you fully updated at all times.
Thank you. And he glances over at his new house guests and then looks back at Lynn, and he actually does go down on one knee so he's closer to her height. In the interest of fairness, there is something I do need to tell you as well.
Oh?
Regarding Nick Vull.
Tell me what I need to know.
We don't know how, but the boy is dead.
Yon, with how open Lynn had just been, with how much you have seen her let down all these masks, you see one slide into place. Just earlier, you said you couldn't believe that she could be described as old in any way. She looks centuries old in this moment. How recent?
Yesterday.
Is there a way to... Would you permit analysis of the body?
He kind of gives a small nod. We've already had the medics we do have here have a look at him. No sign of trauma, no lingering magic, and no sign of a struggle anywhere around his compound.
I'm presuming the ring's gone out, yes?
It never had a particular amount of glow to it for as long as we were here, but it's still there. Where it ever was, around his ankle, no one has interfered with it. But he was simply laying there on the floor, as if his spirit simply up and left.
Okay. May he find peace. Okay. And she does take a moment to put her good hand over her eyes, just for one moment, and then just looks back up, and you are looking at Detective Stagehand. Okay. We will analyze this. We will come to our conclusions. We will figure out things from here, but that's changed a few things in the background. All right. Thank you for informing me.
He simply nods and stands back up. And Lynn, just with your passive, you can kind of see how he kind of struggles with that motion a bit. This is an old man. He was probably halfway to old when Cinnabar went down, and it's been 50 years since then, so it takes him a good effort. Like, you're pretty sure you're familiar with that particular motion of, oh, my everything. But he doesn't groan, he doesn't wince, he just stands up. It just looks a little hard. But then he squares his shoulders and sighs, looks over at the door, taps at his collar, and the dingy room melts away to reveal his actual house, which it's not super lavish, but it's got nice, clean rendered walls, it's got decorations, lovely furniture, things that are a little bit nibbled at the minute. He is kind of taking stock and going, okay, I gotta mending that, and I've got to mending that, and hopefully these people know mending, because this is a lot of mending that needs doing. But then he kind of sighs and goes, I will run the bath and make some tea. And then he gives Lynn a nod and turns and heads into one of the other rooms.
An excellent call. And Lynn does... She does give a sigh, and then she looks at the other two, like her sketches, which no one has seen, but Mira has basically got as far away from Lynn as possible when there was that news, because her mind just went. Lynn's mind has taken an interesting turn, and Mira does not want to be near that at the moment.
Fair enough.
That's just alright. You have both done exemplary. There will be a reward in this, and bonuses per usual. I ask that you both keep this under lock and key, yes? Got it, boss. Right. We tend to matters here. We handle things on the upkeep. We go back into the shadows. There will be justice. And Lynn does just take the moment. She will be analysing that body. She will be getting one of her people that she knows to analyse that body. And
we can talk about it in DMs later.
And also updating, like, these two. She very much wants just... There is a moment where Lynn does use her stealth, and she is giving Faber, Iona, and Aisling all the privacy they deserve. She is not eavesdropping, but she does look in, because it's the start. The start of the end.
Suppose it is. And I guess we should leave it there.
No!
Fun.
This is marvelous. We are going to have such talk in DMs.
I really, really love doing things like this.
It's great. One fucked up two cat people.
Yes.
They lost their nya.
Yeah. They did indeed. Oh dear, oh dear. Well, we are going to have some conversations shortly, but for the moment, I think we should say goodbye to our audience.
Bye-bye, audience!
Bye!